to be talking a lot today about the move over law. I think it's fitting to take a moment to remember ODOT highway worker John Pasco, who was killed 5 years ago today on March 15th, 2018, along Interstate 680 in Youngstown. So if we could, I'd like everyone to just have a moment of silence. Thank you. And that's why the move over law is so important. This morning you're going to hear about our upcoming construction projects in Northeast Ohio, specifically on the I-77 corridor in both Summit County and Cuyahoga County. But before that, it's my privilege to welcome ODOT Director Jack Marchbanks for some comments.
Thank you, John. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. It's a pleasure to be here. I like to say that I lead a team of leaders at the Ohio Department of Transportation, and nowhere is it more evident than in North Central Ohio or Northeastern Ohio, with leaders such as John Pecuri, Bob Weaver, and Jerry Nareau. On behalf of Governor Mike DeWine, I want to thank you for inviting me here today. We're here to kick off our 2023 construction program around the state, and of course here in beautiful Cuyahoga County. I would like to recognize again the great work our teams in District 3, District 4, and District 12 do to ensure that our systems is safe, reliable, accessible, and positioned for the future. This year we are making a record investment in Ohio's infrastructure, committing $2.5 billion into improving the state's roads and bridges. This includes work on more than 800 bridges and 5,700 miles of pavement. We are devoting $748 million here in Northeast Ohio alone. It's important to remember that 95 cents of every dollar invested goes to preserving our existing roads and bridges, ensuring they are in good shape to keep Ohio's economy moving. The Interstate 77 corridor is a good example of this. In July, a project will sell to widen one of the last two-lane sections of I-77 between Canton and Cleveland. Work is underway right now on I-77 and Miller Road to construct the southern half of that interchange. These projects are investing in Ohio's future by creating safer and better connections by improving access for business and residents in this area. You will hear more about these projects shortly from our local leaders. As always, safety is our top priority. Ohio invests more per capita than any other state in safety projects. I want to say that again. Ohio invests more per capita than any other state in safety projects. Governor Mike DeWine has safety as his top priority. We follow through with that here as stewards of Ohio's transportation system. This year, there are 190 projects with a safety focus throughout the state. And these aren't just targeting drivers on vehicles on highways. Some of them are improving safety for bicyclists and pedestrians on locally maintained roadways. We've seen far too many Ohioans injured or killed while walking or biking, and are working with our local partners to eliminate these terrible situations. Again, we are investing 100% funding in many of these local projects. I wanted to make sure that the local leaders are aware of that. 100%. Very rarely does ODOT put 100% into projects. We usually require a local share. But because safety is our top priority, if the locals do not have the funding, we will put 100% of the funding in that project once it's targeted and scheduled for sale. Again, work zone safety, as Mr. Pecuri pointed out, is another major focus for us here at ODOT and our transportation partners throughout the state. We don't want to lose any more employees. We just can't, as life is too precious. Last year, there were over 4,600 work zone crashes, with 21 of those crashes resulting in 23 deaths. Again, this is a scourge that we are committed to eradicating. Since 2018, there have been nearly 26,000 work zone crashes in Ohio with workers present, and 36% of them. Another concerning statistic, in addition to the work zone crashes, ODOT workers, vehicles, and equipment were struck 133 times in 2022 alone. Ohio's move over law requires moving over for any vehicle with flashing lights, and if that isn't possible, slowing down when these vehicles are present. These conscious efforts can have a significant impact in reducing these preventable encounters that can result in injuries and fatal outcomes, such as a tragic one with Mr. Pasco. While we are always looking for ways to better engineer our roads to ensure safety, motorists have an important role to play. We need every driver to buckle up, obey the speed limit, drive sober, and eliminate distractions. And we are very, very thankful that we have the distracted driving law now passed and will be enacted into a law very soon. In January, Governor DeWine signed into law Senate Bill 288, the distracted driving provision, that is part of a comprehensive plan to improve Ohio's roadway safety. The enhanced distracted driving law is a wide ban on using and holding a phone while driving. The new law, which becomes effective April 4th, bans the general use of cell phones and electronic devices while driving, with very few exceptions. In addition, it allows primary enforcement. So if an officer sees a driver holding a phone or looking or interacting with devices while the car is in motion, that law enforcement officer can pull the vehicle over for a warning or citation. We are counting on drivers to help us keep our employees and everyone else safe on the roads this construction season. I would like to turn over this presentation to District 12 Construction Engineer Jason Young. Thank you. Jason.
Thank you, Director. Good morning. I am Jason Young, District 12's construction engineer. ODOT District 12 covers 3 counties in Northeast Ohio: Cuyahoga, Lake, and Geauga. We have 52 projects starting this year, spending an estimated $186 million on local transportation improvements. There are 67 total projects in District 12 this year, with an amount totaling $545 million. Today we are along the I-77 corridor in both Cuyahoga and Summit counties. In Cuyahoga County, the I-77 and Miller Road interchange project started late last year to complete the southern half of the interchange. This project includes pavement widening on I-77 between the Ohio Turnpike and Cuyahoga County and State Route 21 in Summit County, and adding a new ramp from I-77 north to Miller and from Miller Road to I-77 south in Cuyahoga County. The new ramps on the southern half of the interchange are estimated to open by October of this year, and the entire project is estimated to be completed in November of 2024. With a project cost of $36.3 million, this project is investing in Ohio's future by creating safer and better connections, improving access for business and residents in the area. As safety is one of ODOT's 4 pillars, I wanted to highlight a project that created a safer connection for motorists in Northeast Ohio. In 2020, we completed construction of an auxiliary lane on I-71 southbound between the Ohio Turnpike and the State Route 82 exit, which included widening the exit to State Route 82 westbound to 2 lanes. Before this $1.8 million project began, there were 35 crashes a year in this section. After the project was completed, crashes have dropped by 60% to 13 a year. Another project improving access for motorists in the county is 2 merge points on I-480 westbound at State Route 237 and I-71 in Grayton Road near the Cleveland Hopkins Airport. This area of I-480 westbound sees backup during the evening rush hour, with the average speed through the area documented at 26 miles per hour. This project will reconfigure I-480 westbound and the ramps at these interchanges to make merging easier by increasing available space. Work began on this $12 million project in late February, and the estimated completion is the summer of 2024. Once completed, this project will reduce congestion, provide safer mergers, and better connections. In closing, I want to remind all motorists to move over for all vehicles with flashing lights on the road. The hardworking men and women improving the roads that we all travel on each deserve to go home at the end of the day. That can only happen when you put their safety first while driving. I would like to now turn it over to my distinguished colleague from District 4, Michael Simpkins.
Good morning. As Jason said, my name is Mike Simpkins, ODOT District 4 Construction Engineer. District 4 covers 6 counties in Northeast Ohio: Ashtabula, Mahoning, Trumbull, Portage, Summit, Stark counties. We're going to have a very robust program this year. We have over $700 million in construction contracts with over $300 million in new contracts this season. Focusing on 77, we're going to have a project out here on 77 from Everett Road up to State Route 21 here in Brecksville at $60 million to start this fall, wrap up in 2025, adding 3 lanes in each direction on I-77. Another major project we're going to have this season is the State Route 8 bridge in Akron at a $140 million estimate. We'll start this summertime, wrap up in 2028. That project is going to build a new southbound Route 8 structure to the west of the existing structure. Then we will demo the existing structure and build a new northbound structure in its place. The new structures are going to be much wider than the existing structures because we're going to add a 4th lane on the bridge as well as full shoulders. And then returning back to 77, we have a project in the Copley-Fairlawn area on 77 over State Route 21, which is going to completely replace the bridge there. And it is estimated at $15 million to start this springtime and will wrap up at the end of 2024. We have a lot of work already under contract that's ongoing. Our Beltway project is in its 3rd year of construction right now. This year, at estimated $165 million when it's sold in 2021 to wrap up in 2025. We will be focusing on I-76 between East Avenue and State Route 59. We will be working on our new left-hand ramps at the Central Interchange. The new ramp from eastbound 76 to northbound State Route 8 should come online this fall. And then we have a project to the south of the Beltway. Most people think that's part of the Beltway project, but it's actually a separate $50 million project that goes from Arlington Road up to 224. That project will wrap up this fall, $50 million, and it added a 4th lane in each direction on I-77. Now, we talk about the safety projects that we want to improve the safety, but we also have to focus on the safety while we're building these projects, and that is a huge focus for us at the district. We're working in urban areas, very congested, so we have to focus on safety. And the safety initiatives that we work on there is, first off, partnering with the Highway Patrol to do speed enforcement in our zones. They have been a great partner for what we're doing. When they're clocking people in our zones doing 90 and 100 miles an hour, when it's posted at 55 miles an hour, that's not only a safety issue to the traveling public, it is a safety issue for our workers that are in that zone. We also have improved our pavement markings. Our pavement marking materials, we're using more longevity materials that last longer, brighter, so that they can better delineate the zones. We're using pavement shields on the ground so that people can see what route they're going to be headed to, kind of eliminate that driver confusion. And then we have the Freeway Service Patrol, another great asset that we have with our zones. They can show up, they put lane closures up to delineate to traffic approaching the accident of what's going on, where they need to be. We have a tow truck in that fleet to remove those vehicles that are blocking the way when possible. We've even got an incentive program for local tow companies to help get them in there and get vehicles out of there. Because the longer that pinch point is in there, the longer that queue lasts, the more risk that you have of a more severe incident happening upstream than the incident you're dealing with. So then we also, on our major jobs, we have a partnership with our emergency services, police, fire, EMS, have meetings with them, fully explain to them what they should expect during construction so they can understand how they're going to get into the zone, how they're going to get out of the zone, how they're going to work their incidents. And then maybe we can make some adjustments based on their needs. And it's become a very good partnership in increasing their response times and getting those incidents cleared out of our zones. So wanted to hit on that part of the construction side of things. Jason hit on the safety projects a little bit, and I'm going to turn this over to Mike Fair, our District 3 DCE. Thank you.
Mike. Good morning, everybody. I'm Mike Fair, the ODOT District 3 construction engineer. District 3 covers 8 counties in north central Ohio, including Ashland, Crawford, Erie, Huron, Lorain, Medina, Richland, and Wayne counties. This year in District 3, we have a total of 90 projects with contracts worth about $318 million. 75 of those projects will get underway this year and will be worth about $150 million, with 15 larger carryover projects that are worth about $170 million. A couple of our bigger projects one of them is the Richland 30 project, is a major rehab through Mansfield. After 3 years of construction, we'll be wrapping that up this summer, and so that'll be completing. We also have the State Route 83-3 Dix Bypass major rehab, around Worcester. That is a $30 million project that is starting its second year of construction and should wrap up early in '24. Another project is the State Route 18 widening and major rehab project, just from I-71 over to the city of Medina. That is a $23 million project and is also starting its second year of major construction. That should also finish up next summer. This summer we'll also be selling a major project on State Route 21 in Wayne County. That goes from the Stark County line up to the Summit County line. That'll be a major pavement rehabilitation project, and will also include numerous safety improvements for that corridor. One safety upgrade will be a super street will be constructed at the Edwards Road intersection. A super street is a signalized arc cut and will be the first for Northeast Ohio. In addition to the super street, there will also be median crossover closures at Grill Road, and Clinton Road will be converted to an arc cut or reduced conflict U-turn. So far in District 3, we've constructed 3 of these arc cuts in the last several years and have already seen a reduction in crashes at these intersections. Some other safety. Safety is a priority for ODOT. As also, we'll be constructing 2 roundabouts this year. The first of those is a double roundabout that will be constructed on State Route 83, 303, and 57 at that intersection just south of Grafton. And the other will be up in Erie County at the State Route 4, 99, and Skadden Road intersection. Roundabouts have been proven to be one of the safest intersection improvements and continue to grow in popularity due to their increased safety and efficiency for moving traffic. So far in District 3, of the last couple of years, we've built 8 roundabouts, and with several more planned into the future. The purpose of all these projects is to create safer connections and better access, not just for vehicles, but all of Ohio's people. I know it was mentioned previously, but we can never say it enough. Remember, while you're driving through Ohio's work zone, always slow down and pay attention to your surroundings. Be sure to watch out for crews who are working, and always remember to move over and slow down. Our crews are out working to make the roadways safer for you. Let's make it safer for them. Thank you.
Thanks, Mike. As we close this out, I just want to remind everyone one last time the importance of putting down the distractions and slowing down and moving over. The road is our office, and our workers' lives depend on it. Thank you. Our speakers will be available for one-on-one interviews if you'd like.
Yeah.